need to get out of this house. I don't want you here. Like, you're not welcome. I go back to sleep thinking everything's gonna be fine. Now I'm definitely shaken up here because I'm like, hey, why didn't that work the first time? Like, it's, as a psychic, the biggest question I get asked is about like demonic energies, evil spirits, negative energies. I'm gonna tell you guys all about that and my experiences, because I have many, while I get ready. One of the, I would say this is my top, I don't know, I say they're all top scary stories, but actually this is probably the one that really shook me to my core. Where do I start? I would say randomly, it was so random. I was doing nothing in the day. I went to school, I went back home, I was just studying at home, being a good student and all that stuff. And it was like around 8 p.m. in the winter time. I think this was like a year ago, maybe, I think it was a year ago, around the fall time. And so it's like dark outside, it's cold, whatever, and it is probably 11 p.m. at night. I finished studying, I'm like getting ready for bed, I'm wash my face and stuff like that, and I get into bed and I'm like about to fall asleep. And so I'm like literally laying in my bed and suddenly I feel this like pressure. I feel like something is trying to, I swear, get inside of my ear. If you guys have spiritual gifts, if you guys have ever experienced this, you know exactly what it feels like, but it pretty much just feels like a lot of pressure. It felt like a lot of pressure in one ear. Literally something was trying to get inside of your ear. This is definitely something that can happen. And I just knew and I sensed this presence. Here I am laying down on my bed and I just, from the corner, I open my eyes and from the corner of my eye, I look up and I just see this black cloud of something, and I was like, uh-oh. That is something. So I immediately out loud, I was like, I rebuke and bind you up. What I actually say is I rebuke and bind up all negative energies, evil spirits, demonic forces, rulers of darkness, spiritual wickedness, principalities, and low vibrational energies from high and low places. And then I call upon the divine and I'm like, divine, please protect me, please remove and block out the energies that I have just mentioned. And that literally 10 out of 10 times, that whatever is in your space is going to go away. But in this case, it just did not go away, and it wouldn't go away at all. So it went away it just digressed, sort of. That's the word I can best explain it. It digressed for a little bit. And so like I tried to go back to sleep and I was like, whatever, it's gone. I tried to go back to sleep and the exact same thing was happening. Again, I could feel it just trying to get into my ear, and it was like bouncing back, but then it went in and it tried again and it was like bouncing back. And so it went from like pressure to no pressure to lots of pressure to no pressure. And it was just like going back and forth like that. And so again, I say the same thing. I'm like, at this point though, because like usually it does work. Like you only really have to say it one time. It does work. But it didn't this time. And that's why it really scared me, because even if you guys saw my last video when I was talking about that growling sound that I heard in my room, it went away when I asked it to go away. Noted, it was outside of my house, but it still did go away from where I told it to go away from, right? This time, it didn't go away, right? So it kept coming back, pressure, no pressure. At this point, I'm like pretty freaked out, and noted this was also a period when I was very still afraid of those energies. I wasn't fully how I am now with them. Don't get me wrong, I would still be scared if something tried to pull my feet in the middle of the night. You know what I'm saying? That it's like a startling fear. You're thinking that you're in a nice safe environment, you're in a safe space, and then suddenly something just tries to attack you, right? Like that's obviously scary, whether or not you're scared of these energies in your day-to-day, during the day or whatever. Here I am getting a little bit freaked out because it's not going away and the pressure keeps coming back. And what scared me the most, you guys, I'm not joking, is my cat was sleeping with me on my bed at the time, and she was just staring up at this thing. She was staring at it, and it was like nighttime. It was pitch black outside. It was fall, so it was like dark at this point, and she's staring at it. She won't look away. But like, I have to give it to cats. Like they are very brave. Like me underneath my covers at this point, my cat's just there. Girl, are you playing? You know what I'm saying? She was just staring at this thing, and I'm so scared. So like I look up and I'm like, at this point, swearing at it. I'm like, get the out, like you have to leave, you don't have permission to be here, like this, I'm like, this ground is consecrated and set apart, you cannot be here. Of course I'm always calling upon the divine for protection, and this was a really crazy but also amazing learning experience for me, because there really truly is nothing stronger than the divine, than God. If you call upon that energy, like the God, you call upon that, like the demons, the stuff like that, like the negative energies, the tricksters, they are going to go the other direction. But what kind of freaked me out about it is because it is true that when these negative energies feel that you believe in something stronger, noted when you're not like calling upon them, they know that, right? They know that, like at this time, of course, my strength in the divine is very, very strong. Like it has been for a while, but I was surprised because at this point it was very, very the strongest it's ever been, right? But it still didn't go away. And I'll tell you guys what I learned about why it didn't go away. And it was very interesting. But so, you know, I'm like cussing at it. You need to get out. You need to get out of this house. I don't want you here. Like, you're not welcome. I go back to sleep thinking everything's gonna be fine. Now, I'm definitely shaken up here because I'm like, hey, why didn't that work the first time? It's always worked. It's literally my go-to thing that I say when I'm in any kind of situation like that. The thing does go away, right? I'm like a little bit shaken up, and my cat's here with me and she's not scared of nothing. I'm good, girl. So what ends up happening, okay, so after that, 2, probably 3 minutes goes by, and I'm feeling, it's not pressure in my ear anymore, but I'm like laying on my side, right? And I feel that it's starting to touch me. Like I literally feel that it was touching me. It was touching my arm, it was touching my side. It was like just getting way too close and personal. And I just was like, okay, calm down. Like, it's fine, calm down. But like, I'm shaken up, and I was like, I know it can sense my fear. It can sense that I'm not okay right now, because it's touching me. Like, it's touching me. And I jump out of my bed. I get out of my bed, and I have to turn my lights on. And so I turn the big lights on in my room, and I go and I grab my grandmother's rosary, because for some reason at the time, that's something that I'm not like, I like religion. I actually do enjoy reading Bible scriptures. I actually also enjoy reading the Quran sometimes, or like hearing and learning about it. I do believe in religion. I just personally, for me, I look at religious texts as in a lens of spiritual symbolism. I think that there is a lot of truth to these texts. I know they've been edited and stuff like that, but I actually, like, if you look at it from a spiritual perspective, there's actually a lot that they're examples, they're analogies that you can apply to your life. Sometimes it's, you know, I definitely respect it, but I'm not someone who's obviously, as a psychic, traditionally religious. I don't know why I was reaching for my grandmother's rosary, because that's not something that I normally, while I love it, it's special to me, it's more so something that is special. Actually, it's super beautiful. I'm gonna go get it. It's just like my reminder of her, because she got it for me. It's like real pressed roses that she bought for me in Europe, and Europe's very Catholic, and so it's like, it's so gorgeous, and to this day it smells like roses. And I think she got it for me when I was, I don't even 10, and I'm 31 now, so it's been I want to say maybe like I was 16, but still, regardless, I've had it for a very, very long time. So it's more so like a safe keep, like a memory. My grandma has passed while she still visits me in spirit very regularly, which I love that we still have like a relationship, but it's just not something I normally reach for. So I'm like, let me go get it. Hold on. This is it. It's really beautiful. It's actually real roses. They dry roses and then they compress them into beads. So it's super beautiful. And then it has roses here as well. And it's so gorgeous. I'm like reaching for it, and it smells like roses. And I just keep it in this little container that it was bought in, and I don't, like, it's incredible. 15 years later, 14, it still smells the exact same way that it did in the past. But anyways, back to the story. It's like, it's touching me. Here I am, like I literally get this rosary, and I don't know, I'm just like, Grandma, can you please help me? Like, at this point, I don't know what to do, because I'm like, Divine, I've called upon you. Why are you not here? Why is this thing not going away? What is happening? I didn't know what to do. I'm like, so Grandma, can you please help me? This is not, I don't know what to do. And once I turned the lights on, it did go away. And I've actually heard an exorcist talk about this once, who I absolutely love. Her name is R.H. Stavis. She is an exorcist. She's based out of LA. I really love her. I love her stuff, and she's definitely legit. And I watched a video once of her saying, or like a post maybe, she just was saying, if you turn on the lights, those things will go away because they can't accumulate the darkness that literally of the night that's around. I'm not saying darkness like traumas or negative energies. I'm literally saying the presence or absence of light. And she's like, that's why people sleep with night lights. That's why they are so effective. It definitely did go away, or for now. It was at bay. The story's not done. For a little bit, and then I was like, I need to white sage my entire room. I need to white sage the entire house. Obviously I grabbed that. At this point, late at night, I am really tired, but I sage and I just go back to sleep. I open all the windows so that it goes away. So you have to do 2 rounds of saging when you, or cleansing, whatever works for you. Sage is really good, but also frankincense is very strong as well. Frankincense is the stuff that, it smells like you're in a church, but it's still like, it's that church smell, but I love that smell. I think it's so good. Frankincense is really strong as well. I use that sometimes as well. Palo Santo, whatever you use. It's really good to do 2 cleanses, okay? Because the first cleanse sort of, I don't know exactly what it is, but I've just noticed through my experience that it depends how strong the thing is. First cleanse gets rid of, or almost like loosens up the energy. The second cleanse actually removes it. And definitely make sure to keep your windows open, while you're doing that, so it can leave. Here I am at like freaking 12 at night saging. I'm trying to go to sleep. And I did. I saged and I tried to go back to sleep and lay down. But again, I'm shaken up, so I have some night lights on. I'm sleeping. I'm gripping my grandmother's rosary in my hands, and I'm just, I think I even put an earbud in, like from a headphone. I put an earbud in because it was specifically trying to get into this ear. I'm just trying to think which way I was actually laying down. This ear. And cool, so I'm like, let's just try and fall asleep. And then you guys, suddenly, I swear this sounds like I'm lying, but I'm not. Suddenly, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes passes, maybe 15 minutes passes. I'm really tired at this point, but nothing's really happening yet. I'm falling asleep finally, a little bit still on high alert, wondering what's gonna happen next. Like, is this over? Because I didn't know. Like, it was crazy. I'm telling you guys, this is the first and only time I've experienced a situation where I've called upon God, I've called upon Archangel Michael, I've called upon literally all the angels and stuff that I normally work with to help me. And I felt their presence. I specifically also remember calling upon Archangel Michael, and I felt his presence. I knew that he was there, which was also interesting. I knew that they were there. I knew the Divine was there. It was like the Divine was watching from a distance almost. It's what it felt like. I could sense that presence. I knew it was there. Like, I'm not alone ever in that, and none of us are. But it still was, nothing was changing. Nothing was happening. I'm falling asleep again for attempting, I don't know, maybe it's like the 4th or 5th time at this point. And I'm fading into sleep, and I swear, I feel this corkscrewing, but I'm like exhausted at this point. I feel this corkscrew motion in my solar plexus chakra, right around my stomach area. I feel, which is the which is a vulnerable place for sure. But I swear, like, it felt like something was corkscrewing itself into me, like a wine bottle opener or something, or like, but at this point I was so exhausted. I was really tired. This was going on for a couple hours. There was time, this was going on for a while. It was corkscrewing itself into me, and I'm just so tired that I was like, you know what, okay, one more time, let's just, I think I grabbed my like an incense or something like that, and I went through the house again. And then, no, it wasn't incense. Well, it was, but then I used to use salt and water. You just get some sea salt and you mix it up with water and you kind of like sprinkle it around your house. I used to do that when I was a lot younger, and I totally forgot that I even did that, just because my routines, I guess, have changed. And so even I did that. I was like, we're going back to the basics here, because that used to work. Every time I used to sprinkle, this was in my old house where I grew up, which I have a lot of stories from that place as well. But I would always sprinkle it around my bed because stuff was like coming to me when I didn't want it to come to me. Story of my life sometimes, but not as much anymore. But and I would sprinkle this stuff around my bed, and I would literally see this beautiful, translucent, gorgeous dome around my bed that really would push stuff out and like away. Even I did that. I was like, I don't know what else to do. We're going back to the basics, which sometimes is great, right? I go back to sleep and I'm still feeling this corkscrewing sensation, but I'm like exhausted at this point. I was like, whatever, like, you know, when you're just so tired that you just want to go to sleep. My body at that point was like, we're shutting down. And then I remember the pain stopped, and I was still like awake at this point, but I was relaxed enough that I remember the dream that I had immediately as I fell asleep. So I go to sleep and I remember seeing it. It was this black shadow. It had like horns. It wasn't the devil, okay, but it was just like a trickster type of spirit, or just not like top hierarchy demon type of thing. But it wasn't, it asked me a question. It was like, okay, hold on, let me back up. So it's corkscrewing, I'm falling asleep, and I'm dreaming at this point, and I was in my bed in this exact room that I'm in now, and it went into my body through the corkscrew, and then I started to fly. I flew out of these windows that you guys see over here. I literally, with the thing in me, like we flew out, okay? And then it brought me somewhere, and it was like, look, like, I can give you powers. I can teach you, you can fly if you let me kind of in. I remember, okay? And it's interesting. Obviously I said no, by the way. Of course I'm gonna say no, but you don't want to mess with that stuff. In my you don't want to mess with that stuff, because you don't know what the price you pay is. Let me tell you, you don't know. It might seem, the interesting thing is, like, yes, all that stuff was scary, like the pressure, it trying to grab me, like it was freaky. But when I actually got the chance to fall asleep and interact with it for real, it didn't seem scary. Like it wasn't trying to harm me per se, but it was trying to trick me, right? Like, these entities, you guys, will try to tell you everything that you want to hear. They know that I'm all about angels and God and stuff like that. When they know that about you, they'll try to act super nice, and they essentially shape shift and try to behave in the way that they believe that you will allow them in. It was being nice. It was like, I'll give you powers. It was even giving me this energy that it's like sweet, and it's just like, we'll do a little energy exchange, you know what I'm saying? I'll be able to fly if I allow it in. I flew to this place. The rest of the details don't matter. I flew to this place, and I ended up waking up at like 7 a.m. At this point, I don't know, it was like probably 4 a.m. I only got a couple hours of sleep that night, and I was still pretty scared, because I was like, what is the aftermath? I don't remember anything after the dream, but I was like, what is the aftermath of this? Am I possessed now? Am I haunted? Did it leave my body? I don't know. Like, I didn't really know. Like, of course, the second I woke up, I prayed, and I was like, Divine, I don't know what happened. How many stories do I have of me being, I don't know what happened last night, Divine. Whatever. But no, for real. I was like, I don't know what happened, Divine, but I want nothing to do with that, please. Like, if that thing is still in my body, if there's any sort of attachment still remaining within me to that thing, like, please remove it. I'm out here doing all the things I woke up at 7 a.m. I'm white saging the house again. And side note, I always thank the indigenous spirits of the land, because I don't know if the white sage is ethically sourced for real. I buy white sage that is ethically sourced, but who really knows? You know what I'm saying? I always thank the spirits, the indigenous spirits of the land. And they are super powerful as well, so they'll come in and help as well if I'm feeling like freaked out and scared. I'm saging in the morning, I'm like doing all my prayers and stuff like that, and I was freaked. Oh my gosh, and then I totally forgot about this part. There was so many ants in my backpack. This was fall, and the ants, I'll say this, the ants, they like to come into my house in the fall because it's cold and they want some food, and they don't really come as much in the summer. But in the winter, like it's like if you have a crumb of food on your floor, like it's an infestation, I swear. You'll see like 200 ants, but they go away if the food's out. I like mop a lot in the winter and the fall, but the next morning, there was so many ants in my backpack. I had a piece of chocolate in my backpack, but like they got into the backpack and they were all around my backpack and they were like all on the floor. It was disgusting. And I'm just saying, I don't think it was a coincidence at all. I had food, but the amount was insane. Anyways, let's just get to the part of what I learned. This entity would have not been allowed into my home unless it was on divine will. I learned that day that sometimes when the divine knows that you still have a fear of these things, these entities, it's a lesson for you to learn how to not be afraid. I still was, but looking back now, and I've had experiences after where stuff has grabbed me, and those experiences, I'm like, I literally turn around at the thing and I'm like, get the F off of me. Like, I'm not scared. I'm just like, mind your business, mind your own way, go about your business and leave me alone. Like, it really doesn't scare me anymore. It was a lesson for me in fear. It was a lesson in me to trust the divine even more. I thought that I really trusted a lot. I thought that I trusted myself a lot, and I did, but there was still stuff that I had to learn. And I mean, we're always learning, even if you're a spiritual person, you literally do psychic, medium, any sort of spiritual work, with your spiritual gift. There's always, we know there's always something to learn, and you never really come at a all-encompassing knowledge with things like that, right? And I genuinely thought that I wasn't afraid, but no, I guess I was. I really learned that day. I meditated, and it was like, essentially the message was, you just had more fear to work through. You had to learn how to trust yourself more, that if you call upon it, God is called upon, and God is there. And it's true, God was there. I could feel it. I knew it, but I still doubted a little bit, right? Because if I fully knew that I was fully protected and I fully was gonna be okay, I would have trusted that spirit was right there. And I just didn't. And that's, so later I learned like that's what the lesson was, like, trust that more, even in times of fear, even in times of uncertainty, like that kind of uncertainty. I really didn't know if I was possessed or not, because the thing corkscrewed itself into me. I'm not joking. Like, I felt physical pain, but I was so tired that I don't know, I was exhausted. I guess in that moment I was just sort of, you know what, whatever happens, like, God's there. I don't know. But yeah, so that was the lesson, to trust that once you call upon it once, you need to trust that you have. So in a sense, it's a lesson in self-trust for myself too, where it was like, you did what you had to do, you did what you knew how to do and what's worked for you from years of experience. Why are you down it all of a sudden? Spirit would not have allowed it if it wasn't for some kind of learning lesson for me, because truly, from my experience, things go away if you want them to go away, if you call upon God, if you call upon your whole spiritual team that you trust and have worked with for a long time, it goes away. And if it doesn't, you don't have to worry, because probably it's a lesson, or I shouldn't say that so lightly. There could be many things of why it doesn't go away. Maybe you need a full cleansing of your house or whatever. Right? But like 9 out of 10 times it's gonna go away. And it did. But then there was a period of my life after that, well, I guess that wasn't that long ago, but I was just curious about dark energies and stuff. Not out of wanting to work with them. I will never work with those energies in terms of being close with them the same way I'm with some archangels and the divine, like no. But just curiosity, like what is your intention? Why are you guys here? Why were you created? Yes, to impose fear on people so that they can face their fear, whatever. But I was just curious, and it actually did end up coming back. But it didn't come, but I didn't call upon God to like remove it. It didn't come into my room, it actually was outside of my house. It came because the curiosity of me wanting to know what these energies are about for real. That's why it came back, but not because I called upon God and it didn't leave. It was just my curiosity. There was some past life thing with it, and anyways, it's this whole thing. I'm definitely gonna have to make a part 2, but please subscribe, you guys, if you want to see that part 2. I'll talk about that next time, but it did end up coming back, but not for the same tests, I guess, as this one. But it's gone now and it's gone for life. But that's that. And I guess the message I really just want to say here is that if you really truly trust and believe in God, like is always strong enough. But you just have to trust yourself that your belief is strong enough. And anyways, I just spent all this time talking and I'm like not even half ready, but I'm gonna finish this video up. I'll make a new video. I'm gonna do some eyeshadow and stuff that's different than my usual, but that's that story. Just know, if none of your tools are working, if your prayers aren't working, it could just be a lesson for you. And I'm it just could be. Like, obviously every situation is different, but that's really all I have to say. Guys, thanks for listening. Let me know if you guys have ever had scary experiences like that, or ghost stories, spooky stories. Like, I'd love to hear about them and see what you guys have been through.